Hello everyone. It's been a few hours since I made the last video. Now I wasn't intending for it to be that long, in between these two videos. I was planning to actually record this video right now, essentially straight afterwards. But unfortunately, due to my hay fever kicking in at the end, I had to edit on a little clip at the end, which means that I couldn't just straight up upload the video. I had to actually edit it, which meant that rendering took forever. And even though I made no changes to the vast majority of the content, it was just a little clip that I added onto the end. It just took forever. So I need to get back into the mindset and everything. I'm planning to make this video just as long, hopefully. I hope that I don't get interrupted by anyone or anything, but it is likely because when I started recording the last video, nobody was home. Now I've got 3 other people in the house and they all might decide they want something. So again, we're going through this book. By the way, I realised in the last thing I probably didn't show the book very well. This is what the book is: C Programming Language by Easy Programming. You see, it's a little bit roughed up. I tend to like, you can tell here. Fucking hell, how do I? I've got loads of books there, and then there's I can't tell on this camera which way to go. I don't know. There's loads of books back there. This is a mess here, but I like to keep my books in a good state. Unfortunately, I've had this book for a very long time, and it's travelled all over the place. I just haven't really gotten a chance to properly learn. I think the first time I tried to learn this was years ago. It's like 4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago, and I just wasn't ready then. But yeah, so we're going to continue to go through this book. I will reduce the camera size in just a second. So last time we finished off I finished off. I don't know whether you're doing it. Let's just minimise this to there. Looks fine. So we finished off by figuring out how to concatenate strings, which is a useful tool. We also figured out how to use scanf and fgets rather. We learned a little bit more about how the memory things work and things like that, so that's good. We don't have to worry too much about that. Let me actually... Is the camera right? I can't tell. The camera's in a slightly different location because I had to take it out of its little... Essentially, my camera is just a GoPro, but I had to take it out of the holder thing so I could adjust the memory. Take the video card out and get the footage. So, let's see. I hope I don't need to edit this video so I can get it out a lot quicker because, let's see. Yeah, it's already, my previous video is already at 26% upload, so it uploads a lot faster than it renders. Also, my computer is not that powerful, so rendering takes a lot of... I couldn't do anything. I had to go for a walk instead of doing what I wanted to do, which is record more of this. I'm just taking a quick browse through my book, by the way. I hope whatever work you're getting on with is good as well. Hope it's going well. If you're doing this, if you're trying to follow my tutorial, my video, then sorry about that. It's taken me a little while. But the whole idea is this is not a tutorial. Okay, so we've done placeholders, haven't we? I suppose actually what I should do is make a proper note. Put my phone in there so the book doesn't close. So I should make a proper note of how to do this. Size. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to italic this and bold it so it seems there we go. That way it's nice and easy for me to do. By the way, if you have ever watched any of my previous videos, which are no longer online, this is how I do them. Yeah, so you've got my old name, my old channel name, and that's still my channel banner. That's in there, and then I've got all the other things going on. You know, research is particularly interesting. There's a lot of pages in there about things I've been looking into, as well as the idea of learning C as well. But yeah, so I think what I'm going to do in this session, I'm hoping I don't get interrupted by dinner or anything, but it is entirely possible. The problem is, if I get interrupted by dinner, I probably have to edit the video because I'm going to have to cut it, and that's just going to be a pain in the arse. But I'm hoping I don't have to. So let's see here. Actually, let's just go to the index, and in that way, the contents, and that way we'll be able to very easily judge what we want to do next. I think comparative statements, like conditionals, is a good place to go, because conditionals are different, and I think it'd be quite good to learn switch case in C, because I'll tell you what, I don't understand I don't get what the logic is in other languages. I tried to do it in C++ and I tried to do it in Python, and I didn't really understand how to do it, so I think switch cases might be good. So I think I'm going to start with if, and then obviously that leads into else, and that obviously has if else within it, or else if rather, elif, whatever you like to call it. Yep, and then we can go on to loops. Okay, so that is page 86. I'm not used to this paper thickness. It's weird because I can tell this is like a normal A4 paper, whereas a lot of books, like most of the books back here, are on this like sort of thinner paper. Also, this book is just in a weird like A5 format. Like, this is not the normal size of a book. It's slightly taller. I don't imagine that's to do with the command line. You can't see it. I imagine that's to do with this, because this has to be longer. So we have comparative statements here. I think I've already written these down. Comparison, yeah. They're pretty much the same in every language, really, apart from does not equal is actually the same. Okay, that's weird. I think in C++ this changes. I think some of these change. I know that is equal to, that is one of the most that's one of the most complicated signs, because one, it's not the same thing as it is in maths, and also it changes every single language. It changes. I don't know what's going on up there. Yeah, I think is equal to is like this in C++. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. So how do you write an if? Okay, so that's fairly simple then, isn't it? So because what I want to do here is we'll write a basic if statement, and then we'll write an if where it depends on variable input. Yeah. Okay, we don't require any special includes or anything like that. Yeah, that looks pretty basic. So let's just do a super basic one. I'm not going to copy from the book, although I do have to use my phone again to keep the book open. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete all this. And what's happened to my cursor? Okay. We'll delete this because we're not going to need it. Don't want anything getting confused. Let's just, I keep making mistakes here. So let's define a int. We'll just call it number and make it equal 10. And then we will say, I don't know if you can do that. We'll see if it works. If, and then I think you have to do this, number is equal to 10. Do you require any kind of brackets? No, you don't. That I don't. I'll tell you what, I don't like that. I really wish that it was. I'm pretty certain in C++ you require brackets. I suppose it does cut some stuff out. Let's just print F. True. Make it super simple. Else. Print F. False. Okay. Return. Whoops, sorry. Okay. Yep. Just making sure this is still recording all fine. Let's just completely wipe this again. Whoops. Keep doing that. It isn't causing any errors immediately. Let's see if it builds. Doesn't build, okay. What's wrong? Unresolved symbol print in function main. Function main is an unresolved. Was that just a bad copy then? Okay. True. Let's make sure it works the other way around. False. Good. Okay, so we know how to do the very basics of if and else now, so that's good. Again, wipe it. Yes. So, what can we do next? Well, we want to see if we can write else if. So, is else if dependent on... else, yeah, we know how else works. See, this is what I was talking about that printing error earlier. Might be more apparent in this example. So you see there how it's supposed to be 16 and then 17 right here. 16, 17, right? But the printing error has put what's supposed to be on this line here. Annoying. That's not going to be very nice to new programmers. And they do that, obviously, as I said, number of times, which is why I think that books are an excellent way to learn, but that's one of the criticisms of this, is because effectively what it says is, if you read it, it says, I don't know if you can see that. It says, essentially it says, so it's like numbers 1 to 16, then it says 10, and then it says 17. So it's like, what? What the hell? Now there are brackets. Confusion 100. I'm going to have to read this because now there are brackets. Before there weren't. Okay. To enter an integer value. The value is displayed in line 90. Yeah, that's just a specific example. Okay. See how the semicolon is at the end of line 11 instead of line 10. Yes, I do see that. You could also write it as a single line, but that's uncommon. More common is to enclose the statements belonging. Okay, so you can do it, right? Okay. Well, let's make sure that that all works properly within Visual Studio. By the way, if you're wondering how this works, I should have mentioned this in the last video, but if you're wondering how to code in C in Visual Studio, all you need to do is load up a C++ document and then make it completely blank. Go to source files, add a new item. Now you see it tries to do CPP. Just delete this and put .c, and it works. Even though you're selecting this one, if you do this, it changes the file, and Visual Studio will run it just fine. There's no errors there really. So let's just delete this a second. We're going to see if this works. Oh bugger! I'll tell you what I've done wrong. Here we go. So what I want to try and figure out is if I do this, then I chuck this in here, do the same thing again, chuck this, X, just make sure it works all fine. False. Yep, that's working just fine. Yeah, okay, great. Because that is so much more helpful. Now, if you decide that you don't want to use just a text editor and you only want to use an IDE, by the way, I wouldn't recommend it because this whole thing here is not helpful to beginner programmers. There's a couple of memes online that I saw where basically the IDE, until you complete the line, it's going, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. Oh, okay, never mind. You know, because that's what it does. Like, if I was to write a line, let's say I'm not done with it yet. You see, it's giving me all these suggestions of what I could do. It's giving me an error. It's giving me a yellow bar here. There's error, error. Like, it's throwing everything off, right? Even though I might not just be finished here, you know? That's why I recommend that you go into here, because you can do whatever. Sure, this is good, but it won't teach you how to program because it does it all for you. This I only really use, I've started to use, because I used to use an IDE all the time, and I was like, oh, shut up, you know, you can use an IDE, it's whatever. But it's not whatever, is it really? Anyway, so I'm going to act as if the curly brackets around if statements are not conditional. Or sorry, are not optional. I'm going to act as if they are mandatory because that will help me more. Because look, you see this little line? I don't know if you can see that on the screen. You can barely see it, but there is a little connecting line here. Just here. That's going to be, so maybe it's more appealing if I do this. Maybe you can see it more. Yeah, you see all these like connecting lines. This is going to be super helpful. Yeah. Okay. Aita. So we said that we wanted to create a program that would be so let's create a Boolean program that's just going to output true or false, but it's dependent on a integer, or sorry, a dependent on a an input, a variable input. So effectively, let's make a password programmer. So by the way, do not make passwords as this, right? If you're ever going to make a program and you want to make a password, and yeah, never do this. This is the most unsecure thing ever. Through the if-else statements, it's very easy to just write a quick program to get a website to output everyone's passwords. There used to be a thing called SQL injection. It's not really possible online anymore, unless your website is completely trash. But there was a couple of incidents where there's massive data leaks at the start of the internet, because what people would do is, let's say that you have username and password input. Well, what you do is you would write your SQL in here, which is the same language that the server's written in, and what you would say is basically SQL, give me every password, right? Now this is not SQL, this is just me demonstrating it, and then what you would do is you would press the, you press the submit button, and then in the password box there would be every password in the database. Right? That's why you should never do this, because even if you're not using SQL, there are ways that you can manipulate it if they know what language the program is written in. So yeah, which is probably why there aren't keyboards on ATMs and things like that, and there are just, because an ATM is an embedded system. So yeah, but let's just say, for the sakes of it, that password is going to be equal to this. I'm going to reduce this memory buffer just because it's not very nice to have a huge memory buffer. Right. Let's say, so what we're going to do is we're going to need something which says, what is your password? So we're going to say char, I'm not going to name it input because that's bad technique. You're going to end up mucking yourself up at some point. What should I make it, like user attempt? And we'll give it a memory buffer of 50 again, just for the sakes of that. I don't know why someone's going somewhere. Let's say that. So, I think what is my sister needs to go to the dentist or something, maybe. She always needs to go to the dentist or the hospital or something. So we're going to do that, and we're going to say that we're going to need something to get an input, so we need to obviously write, let's write puts, please enter okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get, is it fgets? I keep forgetting if it's, yes, fgets, isn't it? Right, so let's see if I can do this bit off of memory. Right, so fgets, and then it'll be user attempt, then it'll be 50, and then it's going to be, I can't remember. God, my mother needs to stop screaming at my sister. Uh-oh, I've lost the page. Come on. This will be something super simple. Oh, yes, SDN. Right, okay. Okay. You know what, I may as well just copy the book. I can't remember. Honestly, it was a couple of hours ago that I did the last video, as I said, so, yeah, you got to give me a break there. Okay, I understand. Right, so, I'll keep, you know what, I'll tell you what, let's just get a second bookmark here. Chuck that pen in there. So what we're going to now want to do is, if user, if user attempt is equal to password, this is why you don't use an IDE, because I'm used to it putting the cursor back into it. Puts true. Else puts equals to false. Okay. I don't think I've missed anything there. I've got semicolons, We're getting there. Okay. I think that's okay. build ran. Sounds good. I'll tell you what. We need to edit that slightly. Fuck me, mother. Jesus Christ. Always screaming. Right. This is why, by the way, I can't record videos very often. It's because I have to try and record when they're out of the house, and unfortunately they all just decided, oh, let's go home. Right. Password. False. What? Okay. Let me just try that again. It's telling me it's false. Okay. So here we have a bit of classic programming bollocks. If user attempt is equal to password, let me try. It might be. See, this is why we don't do this. This is what I was talking about naming conventions, because we called this password, and then we said this is password as well. Maybe what's wrong is that this is trying to reference this itself rather than this text. Maybe. So let's try changing the password to 1234, classic user password. It's still saying false. Oh, right, this is brilliant. Okay, so what's going on here that is not understanding? If user attempt is equal to password, please enter your password. Right, okay. Oh, I'm a bloody idiot. What am I doing? God, there's probably people at home just screaming at me here. I mean, there's probably it's still going to be because the logic was wrong on password. It's still false. Okay, so we've got a logic error here. It's a logic error because there's nothing being thrown. There's no errors being thrown when we build it. So yeah, like you can see, we just built it and there's no errors. Ah, right. That's why I'm an idiot. Okay, never mind. That's what we're supposed to do. Eh? Don't believe my eyes. Okay. I'm so silent because I'm fucking pissed. Perhaps it doesn't work like this. Right, what I'm thinking here is in this language equal to, so double equals, does that mean is the same as? Because I know is equal to is literally the same thing, it's synonymous with is equal to, is... Sorry, I can't speak today, but I think you understand what I mean, right? Are we talking about the same things here? Are my comparative operators correct? So, like, can it work? Because we saw it work with numbers, right? So, can it work with variables? Is a different question. So, let's go back to... comparative. Why do I even bother? Yoink. Oh god, I can't wait until we get onto pointers. Oh yeah, I've tried to do pointers before and I don't understand. There's like a million videos on YouTube just dedicated to pointers because nobody, I don't think anyone actually understands what pointers are. Math library functions. So, this is not what I was talking about. It's before this, isn't it? Yeah, no, this is not it. Here it is, comparison. So, what do we have here? Does it define... See, it just gives you the comparison operators, but then it doesn't actually tell you what they are. Time for the internet. It seems to just be that, so this must be my own problem. What if we... I know for a fact someone's screaming at me. Don't they do this somewhere? Because I've sworn they do this. Yeah, I just looked on Stack Overflow. I probably should show this actually. Let's get that page back up. I was looking at this here, and this guy was trying to do this, which is basically just compare loads of things. And then here, the guy writes A is equal to B, which is like exactly the same thing as what I'm doing. This works in Python, which is why I assumed it's exactly the same thing, but maybe I'm wrong about what I'm doing here. Maybe this is wrong. Don't know. Unless I just, for some reason, it doesn't assign properly. I've got an idea. Right. So what we're going to do is going to make use of something I did earlier. This. Yeah, and then what we're going to do. See, this language, this IDE takes forever as well. That's the other problem. It's not as quick as Sublime at highlighting things. And it keeps throwing random errors when we're typing. See, it is a so that what that test proves. If I just show this, 3, 4, right? So what we're doing here is this is already preset. So child password is this. Now we're not even talking about this. Child user attempt. So we're setting up a new variable. We're saying enter your password, please. They do this. It gets put into user attempt. Now we've just printed off user attempt, and user attempt is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the check down here is supposed to say if user attempt is equal to password, then say that it's true, else say that it's false. Right? So essentially your password is correct, your password is not correct, incorrect. I don't understand how this logic is failing. What if I swap the variables around? You see how it keeps throwing that error there? There was an error that kept coming up. That's the IDE just panicking. It's still saying false. I don't know what's going on here. Let me try searching so this guy. Whoops, I'm minimising the wrong page. Right, so what this is saying, should I move my camera? Let's chuck the camera over here. So this is saying, this is a password program I'm looking up. Okay, so this is accounting. This is a count program. So essentially it's going to give you 10 tries to get your password correct. And this will only run while it's going, and then if it stops, so yeah, this is the same thing as if you used to type break. Password is equal to, this is literally perfect. If password is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. See, but this is not what I want here. I want it to compare two variables, because we want password to be a variable figure, don't we, really? Why don't you build me up, buttercup baby? I love Yeah, I understand how this works. This is quite basic. Should we see if this works? It's the idea that this doesn't work or something. Is it correct this? Build errors. Yes, this scanf problem. This is why you don't use IDEs. Let's get rid of that error. We're going to just rebuild the solution. There you go. See, build succeeded. Yeah. Other than the scanf problem, we understand how this works. ATA. Right. Okay. I didn't want to go here. Can you go away, please? Right. Okay. Reset my camera here. Should we see if our program... Should we see how broken our program is? So, rather than this... Pardon me. Still saying false. It's still throwing false. This must be a problem with my program or something. Because it doesn't say true, does it? Like, as in, it doesn't... It's not... My problem is, for a second, something that lapsed in my mind. The reason why I just kind of gave an answer rather than saying a sentence is because I had the question come across my mind that maybe it's something to do with the brackets here. And perhaps... Sorry, I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see this. Perhaps something to do with the brackets. And maybe, but otherwise it would print true, then false. Yeah, this is about as honest as it gets, guys, with programming. Tell you what, I might be able to get some more light in this room if I just... Because it's starting to get a little bit... Oh, sky's grey. I really hope it doesn't rain, because as I said earlier, I'm supposed to be going on the bike ride tomorrow. But it would suck if it rained tonight. Because it just means that the roads are a little bit more slippy. Hey Google, what are the chances of it raining tonight?
Today in Basildon, United Kingdom, there's only a low chance of rain.
Sorry for anyone who's got a Google Home, I just triggered it. Right. What am I doing here? I'm just kind of browsing. This is switch case, so time to go there, do I? I just want regular if else. If. Where's else? If else, right. So it defines that, and it says all that. Okay, it's not comparing variables here though. What am I missing? I wonder if it's some... I don't know why, but I wonder if it's something to do with puts. I'm just seeing if backspace works. F gets user attempt 50 std, and let's make sure that's correct as well. std 50. User attempts. Okay. This is becoming increasingly annoying. What could be the problem here? Maybe it's something to... Whoops. Hello? What the hell is this? Why has this come up? Don't remember searching for that. Sorry, I'm just looking for... Okay. I'm thinking it might be something to do with true or false, perhaps. Right, let's go. 2, 3, 4. 0. 0 is equal to false. Yep, that's still wrong. One. What I've proved there, because this is not equal to. So for some reason, even though I'm typing in 1, 2, 3, 4, user attempt for some reason is not equal to 1, 2, 3. I wonder if we just completely disregard user attempt, it's just a useless input, right? Zero. It's to do with this. Why is this wrong? Is this not how we use if statements? What is that notification? Oh, it's a fucking... Never mind, it's just TikTok notification. Okay. We're in the same place again. We're 49 minutes in and we haven't figured out how to become a fucking password program. Dear God. Oh, I love my life. Okay. So this is saying... Okay. Can we just go back to 1 if... Right, so this, by the way, has a bunch of stuff here, right? But and it's in C++, but it's close enough for us to get the knowledge, basically. See, I'm starting to get quite annoyed now. Because we're not making any ground. Perhaps rather than get stuck on this, we should move on. Okay, so let's just... We're going to wipe this again because, you know... What the fuck? Hang on. Okay, never mind. I just saw something that wasn't there. Okay. We need a new idea. Okay. Alright, guys, I think I'm going to end this one here. The reason why is I really want to figure out what this problem is, and it's going to take me a while, because obviously there's something wrong here in my logic. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably try and Google this a little bit more, and I might have a solution, or I might just decide to move on to the next video. We'll see. Okay, so I'll see you later. I suppose I'll make the camera a bit bigger for this. We are going to do... Oh, look, I can do this. Woo. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, no, I've actually... Okay, this is bad. Oh, shit, what am I doing? This is what happens when you play around with OBS when you're not supposed to, by the way. There we go. So, I think, yeah, I'm going to figure out what the problem is here, and then we're going to move on. Let's see, what can we do? Ow, my phone just fell on my hand. So I'm thinking we could do something with math. We've already done concatenation. I suppose we could do some more string. Oh shit. String compare. I've got 6 minutes. And somehow, in the space of 10 seconds, I've forgotten where it was. 163. 163. String compare. It's literally a password program. Fuck me. This is going to be one of these times again. This is exactly like last step. This is exactly like the last episode, by the way. This is going to come down to the line now. So what we're going to do. Oops. Let's just reverse all of this. There we go. Char password equals that in compare. So that's fine. Printer, get it, yep. So what we need to do is we need to wipe this out. Doesn't matter anymore. I'm clicking all randomly. I think this is what it is, because this is a slightly different case scenario. We've got 3 minutes to see if this works. Oh, yucky. We've got that problem here now, haven't we? I don't know why it's telling me that. It's now not letting me do that. Fuck. How about that? Okay, yeah, now the program's going mental. Yep, so it doesn't look like we'll be going. So, see you later. I'll try and fix this.